Not many people know, but we have two types of energies inside us. We have both masculine and feminine energy. Both men and women have masculine and feminine energy. So it's not just that when you hear feminine energy, you think of girly things, pink, you think of dressing up, wearing pearls. That is not to be confused with feminine energy. Feminine energy is energy. Think of energy, the one that transforms from one form to another. So both men and women have both masculine and feminine energy. They have different characteristics. Feminine energy is more of that flowy, playful, spontaneous, mysterious, sensual energy, and masculine energy is that logical, structured, strong, rule-based, timekeeping, space-aware energy. So masculine and feminine energy work together. Where they structure, then the flow can happen. Because you can think of a river and a riverbed. If the river doesn't have the riverbed, how can there be a river? It's just a bunch of water, it's a puddle. So both feminine energy and masculine energy work together, and both men and women do have feminine and masculine energy. The difference is the embodiment. If a man considers himself a masculine identified man, then he'd be most healthy if he embodied more of the masculine energy most of the time and a little bit of the feminine. Whereas a woman who identifies as a feminine energy being would be most healthy, most vibrant if she's in her feminine energy majority of the time, and then uses her masculine energy very strategically, right? So we have a few of the times in masculine energy because we do need it, but majority of the time we know how to release and be in that receptive, flowy, playful, feel good, pleasure, feminine energy. So the first way you can use your feminine energy more and be in that energy so that you're healthy and vibrant and glowing from within is to learn how to be in your body. Remember we said masculine energy is more of that logic, structure energy, while feminine energy is in the body. It's feeling pleasure, feeling flow, moving away from the mental plane into the body. I'll explain to you what this looks like. Recently I had explained in my previous video that I got a divine nudge to go and say hi to my neighbor. We don't talk that often, but for some reason that day when I was going for my daily walk, I got this voice inside me tell me, go and say hi to your neighbor. But I was a little bit skeptical, and immediately that hesitancy came in, the logic came in and was like, why would you go and talk to your neighbor? Isn't it odd? What time is it? She won't have time to talk to you. She's probably doing her own things. You can't just barge into somebody's house. What if they have people over? So all these logical excuses not to do it got the better of me, so I didn't go and talk to her. And then later on this week, my mom came and told me that that neighbor had actually gotten into a very terrible accident in September. So she's been recovering, and the accident was so terrible that, you know, she was in the ICU for 7 days. She's in a terrible state. But if I had listened, can you imagine if I had listened and gone and checked up on her? Because she's really nice and she was so happy to see my mom who came to check up on her. And imagine if I had gone up to her and just talked to her at that day. Perhaps she had needed it at that moment, but because I refused to be in that feminine energy, I refused to listen to my body, and I immediately jumped to my reasoning, I lost that opportunity. And it's because we've been trained so much to be logical and structural, not in our body, then we automatically fall back to the logic and the structure and reason rather than the body and what the heart is telling us. So the first thing to do is to learn how to listen to your body, learn to go back into your body and not question every single divine nudge. And the second way we can be more in our feminine energy to level up for 2024 is doing things that put us in our feminine, right? Doing things that put us in our feminine energy. The first question you might ask if I tell you to listen to your body is like, how can I even trust my body? How can I trust the divine guidance and the intuition and the nudges and know that that won't lead me right into a ditch? Well, the way to do that is to be out of fight and flight and learn how to relax. And the way you can do that is being in your feminine energy. So one of the ways you can learn to be in your feminine energy is to do the affirmations, invocation, meditation, whatever you want to call it. Do that so that you can know that you're safe. So I have an affirmation that I say, I'm safe. And when I say the affirmation, I make sure I picture at least one scenario where I feel really, really safe and feel it in my body. So that I'm not just saying affirmations and it's just like mindless chatter, and it makes your subconscious mind even fight it more because they're like, why is she lying? No, it's remembering every time you felt safe and enhancing that feeling of safety in your day-to-day life. So on a daily basis, if I say I'm safe, I'll ask myself, what can I do for myself to feel safe today? A lot of the times that's just praying. It's praying to God and asking God to give me safety this day, to protect me, and thanking God for protecting me thus far. I went outside, I went for walks, I did all this stuff, and I was safe, and God protected me. That makes me feel really, really safe. Another way is making sure I have nothing in the background. Like if I have an assignment or I have something I need to do, I need to know that I can do it. I need to know that I can do it in good time, that I won't get in trouble for not doing it. I won't, ruin something because I didn't do it properly. So I need adequate time to prepare. For example, if it's a day where I'm supposed to go to court and like holding brief online, then I'll make sure that I have prepared adequately. I have looked at my Google Calendars. All the cases are in the calendar, so I can check it out as a monthly glance so I don't miss anything. I'll make sure that I check the emails. I'll make sure that my phone is on so people can access me, just in case maybe some notice has been given by the courts and the case is happening earlier or later. These things, I need a structure around it, a system around it, so that I can be in my flow. And this is where the masculine and feminine go hand in hand, because masculine energy is all about the structure and the systems and automating so that you can be in your flow. So if you have your masculine energy in order, your systems, your habits in order, then you can be in your flow, then you can feel safe. Because when you're in fight or flight, it's very hard to access your feminine energy. So it's very important that you have systems and structures that can aid you in being in your feminine energy. Another activity that I do when I want to be in my feminine energy is go for walks and grounding, walking on the ground barefoot. Another thing is, taking bubble baths. When I take a bath, I make sure I am saying my affirmations. I'm looking at the water, the way it's so flowy. Another thing that I do to be in my feminine energy is get ready every single day. And when I'm getting ready, I'm making sure I'm embodying that goddess energy, that I move and sway like a goddess, that I am richly, taken care of. I take care of myself. I love myself. I thank God for the opportunity to be in this body, to be a woman, such things. Making sure I'm talking to myself really, really well. That grace is very characteristic of feminine energy, that is warm and nurturing. Then another thing, the third thing I'm going to talk about is living every day like you're on vacation. I noticed something, that when we go on vacation as a family, we fight less, we are more friendly, we spend more quality time together, we're willing to, feel our senses, taste the food, smell the air, look at the ocean, look at the beach, walk on the beach, take things slow. It's almost like you're in a different time zone. And then the minute we're back in the city, the minute we're back to work, we're back in that stressful life, arguing with people, getting triggered by small things. And then I realized it's as easy as taking the vacation and bringing it to your daily lives. Those daily walks that I take, they are an indication to me to start being in vacation time. When I go on the walk, or when I stand in the balcony and look at the beautiful nature and the trees and the birds, it signals to my body that I am safe, that I can relax. And I've also realized I'm more or less likely to pick a fight when I'm in that relaxed stage and appreciating life, appreciating my family. Another way you can be in vacation time is, if you have trouble telling your family that you love them or you appreciate them, especially if they're normal and you actually do. You can say it in your mind. You may not necessarily say it out loud like, oh my gosh, I love you guys, because you're not used to that behavior. What you can do is say it in your mind like, I love and appreciate my family. Just feel that energy. Feel that energy and send it to them. You don't have to say it out loud. Another thing is, I've noticed in vacation, we are more tolerant. Like, if you've ever gone to a tropical place, the people are so kind there. The people at the resort, they're really so kind to each other. And in turn, we feel kind to each other as well. So I realized that at some point during the day, when I'm trying to transition from work mode to play mode, that I will picture myself with that grace and that kindness and that warmth of, the tropics, how people cater to each other, are kind to each other. So if I want to make some tea for one of my family members, it is so out of character that sometimes they look at me like, what's going on with her? Because I'm also learning and putting these things into practice. But I've realized the more you do it, the more they reciprocate. And finally, the thing that is related to the fourth point that is related to point number 3. Point number 3 is knowing how to transition from work mode to play mode. Feminine and masculine energy is about balancing the two. So as a woman, we know how to be in our masculine energy. It's healthy to get things done. Your schedules, your to-do list, your setting goals, achieving them, setting tasks, achieving them, setting intentions, achieving them, keeping time. All those things are very important. The thing that we miss is transitioning, that not the whole day should be spent like this. So for example, for me, when I wake up in the morning, I take some time to just say my affirmations, to pray and to thank God for the day and the day moving forward. So that meditation state keeps me in a very relaxed state, very in my feminine energy. And then when I start to pick up to be in my masculine energy, that will look like, working out. Like, let's do this, let's work out, let's get the workout in. Then what's on my to-do list? What do I want to do today for a few hours? That's after breakfast, right? Then towards the afternoon, you'll see me start to slow down, right? At around 3 or 4 p.m. Maybe I'll watch something interesting, I'll watch some YouTube videos, I'll start to relax. So that is a signal for my body that I'm starting to transition from the masculine energy to the feminine energy. And you can do that as well. The transition between masculine and feminine energy, just have a routine, have a way you transition. You could be listening to music. Another way I like to transition is when I take a shower. After I've gone out and I'm coming back into the house, my shower routine is part of my transition from the work mode to play mode. So I start to slow down, I slow down my movements. You can think of yourself as having a dial, or like on YouTube, how you can speed up or slow down your videos. Think of yourself as slowing down to 0.75. So you're slightly slowing down your movement. You've stopped rushing to be in your flow, in your feminine. You start being nicer and warm and more compassionate. You start, speaking with your energy rather than with your words, feeling things in your body, feeling the food you're eating, slowing down when you chew. I had such a big problem with slowing down how I eat, and I'm still working on it up to today. Because in boarding school, we used to only be allowed to eat for about 10 minutes, and they would ring a bell. And if you're still in the dining hall, after they've rung the bell, you have to clean up, right? So I used to gorge my food so quickly, and that happened for 3 years. So I got so used to eating quickly. So having myself slow down and just actually taste the food has been such a battle, because before you know it, I've finished eating my food and I didn't even taste it. So that's part of the things that I've been working on, because it's a work in progress. So I hope that as we go into 2024, you'll learn to switch between the two energies, because it'll make you happier, healthier, and more radiant. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Bye.